I'm gonna take out this garden and this grass. I'm gonna put a small patio. It's gonna be about 6 by 7 feet here. Let's get started. Next is to remove all this sod. I got the garden cleaned up. I'm using a somewhat pointed shovel. To speed up the removal of the sod, I'm going to use my Honda rototiller, an amazing tool. I'm just going to rip up all of the grass and the roots and then actually fluff up the soil a little bit so that I can smooth that out. I will put a link in the description below of where you can buy the tools and products that I use. Got that tilled up, and now I'm gonna take it, put this in a wheelbarrow, and then I'll dump it into my compost pile. I need to dig out some of this dirt too because I'm gonna need to drop the elevation of this. I have some edging bricks along here, and I want to drop it down. These patio blocks are about maybe 1.5 inches thick, but building that wall along there, I have river rocks on the other side of it, and that little wall of those pavers, or actually patio blocks, helps keep the dirt from getting into those rocks for the most part. Steel rake works really well for picking up that grass, and I'll use this side and the tine side depending on what I'm doing. The tine side will catch those blades of grass and roots, and then flipping it over, that side really smooths it out really nice. Handy tool. I'm using my shovel, coming in, and I have there's edging pavers right along here. I'm just trying to take that down the exact elevation that I want. The paving, or the patio block depth right along those. On this side there's cement patio blocks. Those are about 16 inches square, pretty thick, and they are heavy. I'd move those from a different location to here, but I'm going to work along here with the shovel too, get that down to the right elevation that I want the top of the patio blocks to be flush with the top of the... I have now placed 4 patio blocks on the 4 corners and at the elevations that I want them. I don't want any bump up from the grass up, and there I want to be even with those concrete blocks. So now what I'm going to do, I know what this elevation is here at the bottom of this block and the bottom of that one. Same with that one and that one. What I'm going to do is put in a pipe. I need to dig that down, and I want the top of the pipe to be at the bottom of this patio block. So I'm going to dig those in. I'm going to do one on this side and one over there. And then I'm going to use a 2x4 that's going to run this way, and then I'll run that across and screed that out, and then all the dirt will be at the elevation that I want it to be at. I've got this pipe at the elevation that I want it, and the other one at the other end, and then I have the 2x4 on here that I'm going to use as a screed. And I want to pile up dirt against the 2x4 a little bit, because then when I drag it out, I want it to fill in and level out this whole surface. And I'm going to have to remove some of this dirt, too much there, but I could put a level on this if I want this area to be level. I could put a level on the pipes to get those level if I want to. But the nice thing about the patio blocks is I can make it unlevel, I can make it level, I can do whatever I want. So I'm going to get this dirt out of here and then screed the rest of this out. And I've got that all screeded out nice and straight surface. It isn't necessarily, well, it's flat, but it's not necessarily level. Could have leveled if I wanted to, didn't want to, just want to match up with the patio I have and the grass on the side. Now these pipes, I'm done with them, so let's take those out and then fill in those trenches with some of this nice loose dirt. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. And another thing, I do not want to walk on this surface. I'm going to put down some landscape cloth to keep the weeds from coming up. And then I'll lay the patio blocks right on top of that landscape mesh. Now I'm going to roll out some landscape fabric to keep the weeds out from coming up through the cracks in the patio blocks. I'll just cut that for length, and then I'll put another piece over there. I think just one more, it'll overlap probably about 6 inches, which should be good. And I've put down a few of the blocks, and I'm just going to run them all just like that. There's different patterns I could go. I can run 2 one way, the next 2 the other way, and then 2 that way. I could run lengthways going that way. I think they're like 8.5 by 17 inches or something like that. So you can put them either way, and they end up being a square. I mean, I could do a herringbone with that. No, herringbone. Then you have to cut them. I don't want to cut any, but there's a lot of different patterns that I could use. But I'm gonna finish filling this field, and I am not going to step on this landscape fabric. I'm only going to step around the edges or step on the patio blocks, because if I step on the fabric, that dirt is soft and I'll put a dent in it, so I don't want to step on that fabric. And I've done this for years using the landscape fabric. Lets water through, but for the most part don't get any grass or weeds coming up, except for like along the edge where the grass is. The grass will send runners in between the blocks and come up, but generally out in the main field won't have any weeds. This landscape material got a little bit long, so just doing it, folding it over, and then just putting a patio block on top. And I'll finish that up. Finish off this edge. Take some of this extra dirt. And just fill in that gap. This area around the patio where there's bare dirt, I'm going to spread a little bit of grass seed. And take the steel rake and work that in. This will help keep it moist. These blocks are going to be a little wiggly for a while. Walking on them, rain will help them settle in. I could take a hose and sprinkle them, but it's fine. They wiggle, no problem, but nice hard surface. Be sure and check out my other videos. Please subscribe, like, share, leave a comment below. Have a great day.